Hello to the unfortunate few who stumbled across this. D&D, continuing its crusade of stupidity. Well, Wizards of the Coast, I guess, more correctly. They're avoiding the term witch, apparently, because of real-world religious reasons. This is a article from Fighting in the Comics. I checked with other websites. It is, in fact, a thing that's happening. And it's goofy.
Considering retired druid and shaman as well.
Indeed. And
Does
look,
that mean demons and angels are also going to be removed?
I mean, you can get rid of pretty much every class for reasons if you want to.
Fighters are violent.
Well, yeah,
wizards promote witchcraft.
no, which it would be magic. It'd be wizard craft. Can't say witch. It's a mean word. It has religious context, which I guess I might not mean it's a mean word, but means something. I hope they change like paladin to jihadist. That'd be kind of funny.
That would be pretty great.
Cleric to rabbi.
Well, yeah, obviously, because you can't have... If it's Catholic or Christian, it's bad. If it's Muslim, it's a good guy. And if it's a Buddhist, do no kung fu.
Replace the monk with Buddhist.
Yeah.
And continuing pacifists.
And continuing their crusade to make their once-beloved tabletop offerings as inclusive and unoffensive as possible, Magic the Gathering head designer Mark Rosewater has revealed that not only has Wizards of the Coast begun avoiding the term witch because of its real-life world religious identifier, but the company is also looking to retire druid and shaman character types for the same reason. Question. They do know witches aren't real, correct?
Well, historical witches and actual, like, the witch they're talking about in the context of a Dungeons and Dragons style game are very different things.
Yeah, I'm aware. It's just...
Because magic's not real, for starters.
Last time I checked.
So...
I want to point out that the group that they're trying to cater to right now is never going to play D&D, so I don't even know why they're bothering.
I'm sure we'll get to look at lots of stupid D&D stuff in the near future.
It's a weird picture. Rosewater, who has served in his current position since 2003, confirmed Wizard of the Coast's new approach to such term while speaking to fans on his personal Tumblr blog. Ah, yes, Tumblr, home of the witch. It's weird to think that website used to be really big.
Apparently the Rosewater still uses it.
Apparently. Why isn't witch a type? It seems like it has a much stronger identity than warlock. Witch is a real-world religious identifier, so we chose to avoid it. No. You're dealing with crazy ladies who don't know what, a bath is. Who think
and like rocks.
Yeah, who think like rock salt and shit is magic.
I mean, it can be if putting...
I don't even know what the fuck you two are talking about right now.
You've never seen the crazy ladies who claim to be witches?
Wiccans and witches?
Yeah.
The chicks who read tarot cards?
Yeah, those kinds of...
That's part of it.
Yeah. Like, they're the only thing I can think of that seriously call themselves witches.
Yeah, but that's still not a religion, that's a hobby.
No, they think it's a religion. Because you can claim
not a hobby.
You can claim anything's a religion. I mean, fuck, Jedi is a religion.
I don't get how that could be a religion.
The same way that people claim all kinds of things are religions.
I mean, I guess it's weird. I don't typically think of witch and religion going together.
Well, I think the reason they're saying it's part of a religion is because the original witches were seen to be like devil worshippers, which is a religion.
Yeah,
where they get their powers from.
That was fake. That was just to burn bitches at the stake that they didn't like.
Doesn't matter. They're still using the term to well,
yeah, but that
attention.
is completely different from what a witch is in D&D.
It is, but that's why this whole incident is amusing.
Like in D&D, your powers could come from a little magical raccoon out in the woods.
Could, but so can the lady on Tumblr who says the same thing.
I guess I don't know. I'm not following this weird real world witch logic because it sounds stupid.
It is stupid.
Well, it is stupid.
It is complete and utter horseshit and utter nonsense. But like it is the only thing currently that I'm aware of that uses witch as a religion is that Wiccan shit.
Also, being able to understand their bullshit makes it a lot easier to argue against their points.
Yeah, because you can get shit popping up on YubTub occasionally when you start going to the weirder parts, where you'll be ladies like talking about their magic and endeavors. Like Undoomed used to made fun of a couple of them, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but those ladies were clearly crazy.
Yes, which is why it's funny they're bending the knee.
Mm-hmm.
I got nothing to add. I just think it's stupid.
It is stupid, but it's funny.
That's why we're here today, folks.
Why would you think you're a witch? That'd be like going out and buying a Harry Potter costume and being like, I'm a wizard now.
There were people who did that.
Mm.
Yeah, but they're crazy.
Yes, but they still did it.
It's like
you can have
the Templar, and the Templar meme is like real.
Yeah, well, crazy people can say they have a religion. I mean, fuck, Muslims exist.
Mormons also exist.
Mormons also exist, and they're batshit. The Tom Cruise religion.
Scientology.
Scientology exists, and that's fucking just as much bullshit as the rest of, is like the witchcraft and shit.
Pastafarian.
Oh, there's all kinds of goofy, stupid shit.
Flying spaghetti monster used to make a joke so that the guy could get away with some stuff.
Yeah, you get away with a
And
bunch of money.
some people actually took it as an actual religion.
Yep, and he made money.
I guess, but like if you compare it to like
Like
Christianity
Scientology.
or Muslim or I don't know, Buddhism, like those at least take themselves seriously and have large followings, even if they are varying degrees of ridiculous.
I think you underestimate how many retarded people are on Tumblr.
Yeah, but
I don't think you
they're-
realize how many Wiccans and witches there actually are.
well, what is it? Is it like
It's like it's a spiritual religion. It's
aren't
less
all
to do with
religions-
it's less to do with focusing on like a god and more like you're one with nature.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's horseshit.
wouldn't you want to identify more with a druid at that point? They're the nature class.
You would think, but But a druid doesn't have the same. What's a good word? The same mystique as witch,
Mm-hmm.
because at the end of the day, it's all for attention.
Mm-hmm.
But they say they don't even mention getting rid of warlock, and that's just like the original word for male witch.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, witches typically don't even have a patron, like in D&D. Not at least not to the same extent as like a warlock. Warlocks are kind of screwed over by a patron, and witches just sort of have one.
Well, typically,
at least in
typically
Pathfinder.
men weren't as prosecuted as women were in the past, so warlocks really weren't as scrutinized.
Yeah, but the Wiccan, that's what it's called, the Wiccan witches.
Wiccan witches, like they're holy and like light-filled witches.
But shouldn't that mean they have warlocks still, or do they just have male witches?
I mean,
I think they just count as male witches. Yeah,
it's kind of an art.
it's nonsense internet
It
shit
is.
It was internet shit before the internet existed, and then became internet shit, and it spread like wildfire to very.
Like I know, I understand that you guys are explaining it as best you can, but it's so stupid. I just don't get it.
It's like essential oils.
Yeah, it's a bunch of snake oil. Imagine if snake oil salesmen convinced stupid people to buy their book on witchcraft. Or their book on
basically-
snake oil salesmen. And then people fucking did it and believed themselves they were then snake oil salesmen.
So
But
basically,
replace snake
you
oil
guys have
salesmen
both,
with witch.
you guys have both heard of placebos, right? Like a miracle drug. It's literally
Yeah.
just like a sugar pill.
Salt tablet, whatever.
If you're able to believe something hard enough, it will sometimes actually make you feel better. People use these antidotes as like evidence that these things work
Yeah, it's
until they don't.
Just to
a false religion
make
of
sure I'm
people.
not misunderstanding. You meant antidotes, right? Not anecdotes. Not anecdotal.
Regardless.
Anecdotal.
Following the designer's answer, another player questioned, if witch is excluded because of significance as a real-world religious identifier, why are shaman and druid creature types still going to exist? and they were told, we are currently examining that exact topic. So expect some more shit to be gutted to the people who still play D&D 5th edition for whatever fucking reason. Well, whatever the next D&D edition is. Should be 6, but
it's because it's easy.
yeah.
Real quick, I think it's really funny that they're trying to remove things instead of actually making things for 5th edition. Like, what have they actually made lately that some outside influence hasn't made, other than maybe a couple stories, a couple of campaigns?
Well,
Like, what have they actually done?
The last time I heard normies, or more, not normies, but people who are into
People
5th
play.
edition talk about D&D, or was it the Coast specifically, it was like Volo's Guide to Monsters, but that was like 6 years ago, I think.
Mm-hmm. That
I
sounds
don't
about
think it
right.
was that long ago.
But
It was
people,
a
The most
while.
I know one of the more recent things they did is they got rid of like the racial packages basically, so that you can be anything you want
oh yeah.
I
with
said
any set you want. So if you want to be a Minotaur with elf stuff, you're a Minotaur with elf stuff.
they're taking stuff
If you want to
away,
be
but they're not adding anything.
Well, no,
Well,
it's
yeah,
not even
this-
just taking stuff away, it's also just getting the flavor out of it.
Mhm.
The game needs to become a gray mass to appeal to the masses.
They're trying to remake World of Warcraft's bingo chart.
maybe I don't know about that one, but I just don't get what you're like. You're just gonna replace them with something else. Like even if you change druid to like werewolf.
Well, yeah, but yeah, remember the people they're trying to appeal to are really stupid.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll take that. They'll be like, no, you're not a witch. You're a Valmok. It's literally going to be the same fucking thing, but it just replace the word witch with Valmok.
Like I said, the people they're trying to cater to don't even play D&D.
Well, they
They
buy.
nev- they
Well, you gotta
probably never
remember,
will.
they buy the stuff and then they post pictures of them buying the stuff so they can fit in. Attempt to leech themselves onto the crowd. That and their whatever online social media of choice: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, probably now TikTok because cancer.
Well, I mean,
Hmm.
even if they buy this stuff, I'd have the feeling they'd be the kind of group that's like, the rules are more suggestions. We're basically having a magical tea party.
Oh, most probably. Like I said, I don't think. I think Aura is probably more correct that they don't play. They don't play it. They buy it to show people that they bought it, and therefore,
I mean,
people will assume they have more authority than they do.
I bought
Wizards-
it, so my ideas are more valid.
I'm a valid customer.
Well, Wizards of the Coast doesn't care if you play it as long as you buy
Yeah, exactly. But they're also got a bunch of idiots in Wizards of the Coast. Look at literally the company in its entirety in the last 10 years.
Like the people who cry about skimpy armors.
Like, remember when they had, actually, I'm not going to get into that one. not the skimpy armor, something else.
Yeah, probably for the best.
Answering one final question on the topic, Rosewater answered someone's question of, is there a particular reason it is more acceptable in card games than as a creature type? With the answer, creature types are used for vocabulary for how people group cards together in a way card titles aren't. For example, Priest has existed in card names since the early days of Magic, but no one is building a Priest deck, he ultimately affirmed. Our issue is people using vocabulary as game terms in a way where it takes meaning beyond just identifying a particular card.
I can't wait till they get rid of black and white.
I mean,
No blacks or whites allowed. What?
Yeah, I mean, all they would do is just they'd call it like Pearl and Onyx.
they'd have to get rid of red
Oh.
decks too, because
Yeah.
it's bad against Native
Yeah.
Americans and other types.
Yeah, if they just change all the names to a gemstone, it'd probably be fine for the effect that they want. And they
Yeah.
don't want people using vaguely offensive words.
Offensive if you spend too much time on the internet.
Yeah.
But they're trying to appeal to the perpetually online.
I mean, those people are just gonna get your shit for free because they're just gonna torrent it.
Oh,
Use
yeah,
it,
it's the greatest scam. They convince...
SDR or RSD. I can't know what it's called.
Your actual fans will stick around for a while, and then they'll eventually just get tired of.
Yeah, eventually
Them
they
catering to all
reach
these-
a point where they just say, fuck it, and leave. Look at
I mean,
Marvel
look
and
at-
Star Wars.
I was gonna say, look at Star Wars. It still has some diehard fans, but nowhere near as many as they used to.
It's mostly just leeches now.
Yeah. Leeches and young children,
We got a video series coming up about that.
which are kind of the same thing.
And watch the reactions of Star Wars shields.
Oh no. The next day, Rosewater would further note that despite both terms being placed under consideration for removal for the game, the addressing of one was considered by Wizards of the Coast to be more pressing than the other. Please don't phase out druids. I've always enjoyed seeing local Celtic culture history represented, and unlike witches, they're not sinister depiction. How would... Are witches really considered sinister anymore? Because, like, most of the time when you see a witch in anything, it's a hot lady.
See, they are talking about the ladies who were burned at the stake. They aren't talking about Wiccans.
But the reason why they're taking it away is because it's offensive for Wiccans.
Right.
Wiccans co-opted the word witch.
I gotta see how many Wiccans are.
More than you would think.
It probably is.
If it's more than 3, it's too many.
Like, I've known a couple of people who get really, really into that stuff.
We had one at work. We also have a pagan at work.
I got a buddy that's
I have a couple pagans.
really into that too.
My favorite part about pagans is the fact they tell them to do anything actually pagan-like, and they're a deer in the headlights.
I like how when I typed in how many Wiccans in America, it wants auto-correct it to how many witches killed in America.
Not enough.
It just saw the word America and it's like, oh, it's got to be death related.
If magic can handle exaggerated fantasy clerics, angels, and demons, I think we deserve druids alongside them. Christian symbols have already crowded out pagan alternatives in too many places. See? Druid is far less of an issue than shaman. Because shamans are offensive. But druids are fine. I hate people.
Far less.
It's a bunch of fucking pussies.
Really are.
Oh man.
Said earlier, they're
it's
bending
still
the
not
knee.
a lot, but it's way more than it should be. This is from 2021, but it is estimated at that point in time there was around 1,500,000
Yeah.
Wiccans in America.
It's not where I thought it
Well,
would.
right now, Wizards of the Coast is in pretty deep with all the crap they've been doing, so they're probably just afraid they're going to get canceled.
Again.
Again.
Attempted again.
Well, over here about Rosewater.
They can't
Touching
deal
blood.
with losing all that money.
And mind you, this article is they're mostly talking about. I probably misspoke earlier, but I think they're mostly talking about just doing this with Magic. But we all know it's going to bleed over into D&D for its next edition.
Oh, definitely. Like I said, they've already done everything else that we talked about.
As noted above, this instant of self-censorship is but the latest instance of Wizards of the Coast taking a more safe approach to their content. Previously, the tabletop publisher has both removed a history of enslavement from the lore of the Hadozi species in Dungeons and Dragons due to some players finding the language to be offensive to black people, as well as undertaken an internal effort to avoid using the term tribal in regards to Magic the Gathering due to its negative connotations. Okay, anyone who's offended by the word tribal can fuck off, alright? Tribal shit's cool. Tarzan's a badass, man. Aztecs, that brutal savage shit, amazing.
Mm-hmm.
It has an aesthetic at least, yeah.
The noble
Baroque.
the noble tribe, tribal people.
Like
Again,
I
good one.
know you never really played Orion, but like there are a lot of people who like the noble savage orc in Warcraft.
Yeah, that's the noble savage. Like that's popular.
I mean, there's brutal ones too, like the ones more in Outlands.
Well, yeah, I mean,
But like
the tribal term, aesthetic, whatever. It's only negative if you yourself think it's a negative thing. Like,
it's only negative if you fucking spend too much time on Twitter.
yeah, again, it's a lot of companies are trying to appease to the perpetually online, which is a terrible idea. Oh, I scrolled down and I saw okay.
The card?
Yeah, when Aragorn...
I completely...
I
he
forgot
doesn't even
about
have red
this.
hair. I don't know why they changed him.
I forgot about this so bad. Not only that, but the publisher has also taken steps to discontinue use of half-species as they found the entire concept to be inherently racist. That is true. We covered that article.
Mm-hmm.
So, this whole thing about getting rid of witches is silly. They're gonna get they're probably gonna replace druids and shamans at some point. And Saber is correct. The whole thing is they're just gonna use a different word. I doubt they'll do anything else, or at most they'll combine the classes.
I mean, they could combine them, but at that point, you might as well just combine all the magic classes into one. And then, you know what? Combine all the physical classes into one, and you got 2 classes to choose from with a weird variety of subclasses built in. Problem solved.
I mean, if they're trying to appeal to the numbskulls who, consider 5th edition peak D&D, I mean, they might. Like, you gotta make it as simple as possible. You don't wanna hurt people's feelings. You don't need them to think too much.
You get 1 feat every 10 levels, and every 3 levels you can choose a power.
And just give it time, they'll go to the 3-heart system.
No, stats are inherently racist because it means you could be better than someone else.
Oh yeah, well, that was part of the whole any race can have any stat block thing, wasn't it?
Yeah, not exactly, but sort of.
Why do orcs have an intelligence minus? Because they're fucking stupid. I
mean, they don't have to, but in most settings, they're typically tribal. So they don't have an education system that would help with things like casting fireballs and things.
Yeah, they're also, more importantly, quite strong typically.
Yeah, they also get a massive strength buff.
I think in Pathfinder, if you played like a pure-blooded orc, it's like
+6.
I think it's +4 or +6 strength, +2 con, and then like -2 to all your mentals. So you can start with like a 22 strength,
and they 20. And then they get pretty good feat.
Well, even if you don't get a feat, you play you get a feat at level 1 anyway. But like, if you just go,
they get
if you go like orc fighter or orc barbarian, you're gonna solve 90% of your problems just fine.
I think it's called Die Hard, where they're brought down to 1 health. That's what I'm talking about.
It's frenzy. It's not a feat.
Oh, frenzy. Well, that's what I meant.
Because half orcs get that too.
Yep.
And that just means that you can still act when you're at 0 or lower hit points until you die.
Right. Die.
Fun fact: boars and pigs also get that ability.
That's because boars are dangerous, and everyone forgets this.
I thought you said dwarves for a second. I had to think about that. I'm like, I don't think they do.
That's why Ganon became a pig. He knew it was most dangerous.
Yep.
I want to still be able to kill people when I'm under 0 health, even if it does cost me a hit point to take action.
I mean, fuck it, why not? No, this is just another long, gonna be another in a long conga line of stupidity to be expecting from Wizards of the Coast. It's gonna get more ridiculous. I think it's safe to assume before. Well, I can't say it'll get better.
That's funny. Somebody in the comments talking about what I said earlier about fighter being too vulgar. They say they'd like to announce to everybody they've officially converted to fightology. Fighter, he holds a deep and abiding faith to the virtue of arms, and a +6 bonus to their armor class.
There you go. Golly gee, this is dumb.
Yep.
Everything's going to become Wizards won't be happy until it's all just a gray blob. If you remember the episode from Fairly Odd Parents.
Well, it's because everyone likes to pretend that gatekeeping is all bad. It has some merits, man. It keeps your game your game.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's so much stuff that's basically the same thing as everything else, just because it's all been blobbed together.
There are so many people in this world. Your game will never be 100% inclusive. You can try, but all you're going to do is push people who originally liked your game away.
Especially when you're catering for stupid language things. Like, if they had like a class called, like, I don't know, the red skin or something. Like, okay, yeah, maybe don't do that. But like druid, come on.
Ultimately, though, I'm okay with Wizards of the Coast shooting themselves in the foot. I haven't played D&D except for
Baldur's
the
Gate 3.
newer games like Baldur's Gate 3 and Celasta.
Even Baldur's
Since
Gate
fourth
3,
edition.
even Baldur's Gate 3, like even if you don't mod it, it still makes a lot of changes to base D&D.
Oh yeah, it's not even 100%.
Yeah, it has the rough like outline of the classes and stuff, but like
Well,
their magic item system's way better than base D&D.
like I said too earlier on, Wizards of the Coast has not added anything to their game. Third parties have added pretty much everything.
Yeah, the thing they did is they took away races having stats.
They're just taking
Nah,
stuff away.
not now they can just have whatever they want basically. Which you could do that beforehand if you really wanted to. You didn't have to make you have to make that like the norm for the game. If someone was at your table and you wanted them to be a human with +4 con, you could just do that.
Like,
Like, oh
what's
yeah,
wrong with having like an alternate rule set instead of
humans.
trying to change the whole setting?
I don't really get it. But
Yeah. This doesn't affect me because I think Magic the Gathering is stupid, but it is
oh, right,
amusing to watch D&D because D&D is it is gonna go
Yeah.
over. It's inevitable.
Yeah. None of us really play Magic the Gathering, so this is all pretty much seen through our eyes affecting D&D.
I yeah, I have no interest in Magic the Gathering really. Some of the art's cool.
Yeah, some of the
I
art's
like
cool.
I like the Black Lotus flower because of like the art for the card is cool. I'm not sure it's $3,000 cool, but it's cool.
I'm kind of a fan of We Was King's Aragorn right here. I'm not gonna lie.
You know he's successful because he's wearing all white.
That's right.
Wicca, also known as the craft or the craft of the wise, is a modern pagan. Fuck off.
Oh yeah, it's fucking stupid.
Modern pagan.
I sent him the definition of Wicca,
Yeah.
so that he could see it's an actual religion, not a hobby.
Yeah. But that's all for covering this article, so.
Yep.
So long, those who find this. Tell us were we right, were we wrong, so on and so forth.
Remember, with great cleave comes great responsibility.
Fuck this. We need to go see a movie.
Where did they come up with this stuff?